Hello there. This is Cindy at cindybdesigns.com. Thank you for joining me today. That is the card, the exact card that we will be making. I have the usual close-up shot coming up and the side view. We are going to be using Nothing's Better Than next week. This is one of the cards that I made because I'm making a gift set and it's perfect for the girls. So this is using the chocolate image and the stamps and the word die cuts. Very easy to make. It's just a little tedious, but so much fun to do. That is the Nothing's Better Than stamp set. It's clear amount. You see the 4 line art images of cookie, cocktail, coffee, and chocolate. And then you see the darker images. Those are the fill-in shaded images for 2 and 3 step stamping, whatever you want to do. Those are the die cuts that coordinate with that stamp set, part of the bundle. And those word die cuts, they're not super thin. They're nice. They're respectable and easy to work with, because I know that we have some thinner word die cuts that can be a little challenging. We're going to be using painted labels, those 2 labels there for our sentiment. Measurements, everything will be in the description below, but we have our adhesive. We're going to be using crumb cake and soft suede, not soft suede and early espresso. I switched that at the last second. Champagne jewels, we'll be using the same materials, layouts, everything all week long. So our card stock is going to be cinnamon cider for the card base, and for the sentiment mat, that is going to be soft suede, not the early espresso that you see. The neutral that we're using is very vanilla. And that is what we're looking like. I brought in the In Good Taste DSP, our card top folding, A2, 4 1/4, across 5.5 down. The Very Vanilla is 3 1/4 by 5.5, and the In Good Taste Designer Series paper is 3 by 5.5. And I start to put adhesive on the back to mat that on top of the Very Vanilla. And I thought, maybe I should try that instead. So I'm kind of looking, and I end up going back to the wood grain on top. I think that that was a lot less busier and it went better with the cinnamon cider. And I love that In Good Taste Designer Series paper. It just goes with so much, and that's a healthy pack too. So you'll definitely want to pick that up. And it's great for masculine cards and feminine cards, fall, any season. Brought in the Stamparatus, I'm going to line up our DSP from left to right, with equal margins on each side. And then I'm going to put some more seal on the back of our, I guess I'm going to call it, the base panel, because we're going to be done with it as soon as we get this together and adhere it. And then I want to take that more so over towards the left-hand side of the card, maybe to give myself, in between an 1/8 and a 1/4 inch, just, eyeball it somewhere around there. So I'm looking at the bottom just to make sure that my cardstock isn't grossly hanging over. Moving on, we are bringing in the Stamparatus. I'm laying down the outline, the line art of the cookie stamp, and I'm going to ink that up with soft suede and then press that down. I'm going to ink it up a couple times. And I cleaned it off just because I do that. And then I'm going to lay it down again, flip the cardstock around like that, so that way when you line everything up or put the shadow image in, the solid image, you don't have to change it every time. So I'm going to put the stamp back on its clear sheet and grab the solid image and place that, right in the middle. It's really easy to see through our clear stamps, and with our new stamp cleaner, it keeps them, very, very clean. So I'm getting everything positioned there, and I'm going to lay down crumb cake. And this is where I decided to change out the colors, because I was originally going to do early espresso and soft suede. It was just too dark with that cinnamon cider. So you just change things midstream sometimes. that is what our cookies are looking like. So we're going to start our die cutting now, and I'm grabbing the cookies die cut along with those two frames, and I'm bringing in the Big Shot, not the Big Shot, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which is really cool. You'll love it too, by the way. So I'm cutting the larger frame out using soft suede cardstock. Put a little painter's tape on there because it's literally going edge to edge. And then I'm going to lay down the cookie die cut on top of the cookies and run them through. I'm going to speed it up real quick as I'm doing the die cutting here because you've seen me do it a million times, and you do it yourself when you're doing your paper crafting too. So I'm going to run that through, and I do end up taking the cookie through, I think the second pass through another time because it just didn't press itself all the way down. My paper got crooked, but you know, it still worked out in the meantime. So I hope that you are enjoying your weekend so far and have good weather and are well. So again, we're just going to finish up our die cutting. I'm cutting out the smaller frame now, and that is what we are going to stamp our sentiment on, as well as our stacked die cuts. Now, I've already cut the cookies out 3 times. I'm sorry, twice. And I've stacked those together as an adhered them with our liquid glue. And that thing right there, that teeny tiny dot, that's called a tittle. You want to keep all 3 of them because you're going to stack them too. It can be unbelievably frustrating, but it's worth it, and you get that aesthetic perfect look. Yeah, skip intro. So at the very bottom there, that's where I've already stacked 2 of the cookies were, just to get that dimension in there. So I'm putting on little teeny tiny dabs of our liquid adhesive, which is Tombow Mono, and then I'm going to pull over the cookies, that one right there that I picked up with my tweezers, and then just gently lay that on top. You can use our adhesive sheets if you want. I prefer using liquid glue. I have wiggle room. It works out better for me, and I get straighter stacked die cuts because you can see how I'm manipulating the cardstock with my tweezers right there. This tittle is not fun to do. However, it can be done because it looks like I'm doing surgery there a little bit, but it does work out in the long run, and it's really not too bad. So don't forget about the box sale I have going on. Still have a couple of those left for you. Just head over to my blog at cindybdesigns.com and look at the top where it says box sale, product box sale, and there we go. So I'm bringing in our very vanilla sentiment panel, and I'm taking my purple's painter tape, and I'm just putting that at the very, very edges there because I want to get that cookies die cut and kind of place it in the middle to where I can figure out how I'm going to lay down my stamped sentiments, which are going to be, those are going to be stamped in early espresso or soft suede. It really doesn't matter because I'm looking at my card right now and I have no idea what I did because it was a couple days ago. And I'm doing this video pretty early because I need to take a little bit of time off, and I'm going to try and work ahead as much as I can just to keep everything going for you. Lined up the stamps on the sentiment panel, made sure they're straight, took out the lid, the Stamparatus. Okay, that is soft suede. And I'm laying that down just real carefully. And I'm using the tape as opposed to the magnet, because the magnet has a little bit of thickness to it, and I want my stamps to go down all the way, and they are very, very small too. And this bundle is so versatile. I love the fonts in here, how you can mix and match everything, cut apart the die cuts, change up the colors to just what, I mean, there's the possibilities, they are there everywhere. So I encourage you to go ahead and pick this up. And your shopping list will be over on my blog at cindybdesigns.com, and the direct link to this blog post is in the video description. I'm putting little teeny tiny dots on the back of our cookies were there, and I'm taking my tweezers and I'm getting them kind of like in a position where it's best for me to get a good, just to get everything lined up the right way and laid down. And then I'm going to put that little tittle on there and just apply the glue right to that and set it down. Then I'm going to grab an acrylic block, set that aside, and let all my cardstock there just get set up and cured to pretty much, cured to the cardstock. So now we are going to assemble the card. I have black Stampin' Dimensionals, the mini and the regular, because I do use them both. I put 3 on the back of the sentiment, and then I'm going to get that lined up on the soft suede sentiment mat, top to bottom, left to right, right in the center, just eyeballing it. Then I'm going to pull that tape off, flip it over, take some seal, and just put a couple links down on that. Then I'll bring back in our cardstock and we will get that adhered to the base of the card. This is a really easy card to make, great layout, which, by the way, I'd like to thank Jamie at Stampin' It Up with Jamie for one of the cards I did, the coffee one, which you will see next week. I'll have all 4 cards for you for the set that I've put together. But I got my original inspiration from her and then just kind of, took it my own direction. So I'm pulling our cookies back in. Part of it's going to go on a Stampin' Dimensional and the other part on adhesive because I do have the sentiment and the mat on both. So the cookie on the bottom left, that is just a regular seal, and I'm eyeballing at the top there. So I want to put a dimensional on like the top of the cookie where the bite marks are, and then seal towards the bottom because I'm going to need that dimension since I'm placing that on top of the sentiment as opposed to underneath and below the sentiment. But we're pretty much getting into the home stretch now. And today is World Card Making Day. I'm sorry I don't have anything planned. I knew I was going to be working ahead and trying to keep everything going here. But I might do a Facebook Live, let me know if you'd like that or not. That's our dimension. So now we are going to add 3 of the champagne rhinestone jewels. Now you hear me talk about the rule of odds a lot, and I only have 2 cookies on there as opposed to something like 3. So it doesn't mean that you have to have exactly 3 of the same image. How I processed it this time, I have 2 soft suede cookies up there, and then I have a soft suede mat for the sentiment. That is my 3 because I don't have the soft suede anywhere else in the card but those 3 elements. So that is it. We are done. We'll go through the rest of the set next week, and I hope that you join me. And I do hope that you enjoyed today's card. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, or like this video, subscribe to this channel, and leave me a comment. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you again next week.